Kathy, and I'm back with another process video, and this is for my blog post over on Paper Issues. And for the month of July, this is my first blog post for July, and I have another one coming up right at the end of July, and I'm deciding to do some Christmas in July kind of layouts, and that's mostly to just kind of focus on getting some of my older Christmas stuff from Paper Issues used up. Primarily, I had purchased a ton of the Chamel Christmas from Paper Issues when I was thinking of doing a December daily last December, and or a December mini album, which I still have not put together at all. And the Snow and Cocoa collection, which I bought various pieces of. And there are some new, there's like the Fa La La collection, I think, from Crate Paper that is out now. Yes, out now in the Paper Issue store. And there's some other stuff that's going to be coming up in the next little while from different companies. And so it's kind of like, let's make way for it in a way, like not out with the old, because there's nothing wrong with using old stock. It's just that I don't want to keep hoarding all of my stuff. I want to use it up so that I don't have a ton in my craft room, and I don't have a ton of leftover stuff that I'm not using and just kind of sitting on. So anyway, I'm going to use some Pink Fresh Studio as well, and that's from, I think it's honestly from maybe their first Christmas collection that they put out, but I just had some of it too, so it combined well. Not perfectly well, mind you, and that's because Crate Paper usually doesn't do stark white products and items. They usually tend to have a bit of a vintage feel to them, so the whites aren't perfectly white, but Pink Fresh Studio does tend to use a very stark white in their product line, so combining these two can be tricky. I wanted to do some circles just to get in some of my patterns from the 6x6 paper pad. So I'm just doing like white cardstock circles and then smaller circles with patterned paper on them. So I'm just kind of making 3 of each pattern, and I'm not necessarily going to use all of them. I just wanted to make all of that just to have it. So this was kind of another way to bring in that white, because the white paper I'm using as my circles is like a stark cardstock color white. So anyway, I'm just going to glue all of them down. And I'm making sure that my patterns go in the line, because that was like a textured cardstock, so it had lines. So I basically wanted to make sure that when I put it on my paper, that the lines all went in the same direction, if that makes sense, even though you would barely see it. So this is a photo that I took not last winter and not the winter before, I feel, but the winter before that. Something like that. Or maybe even before that, and it was a picture I took of my son and my daughter. This was long before my third was born, and I dressed them up in some cute clothes, and it wasn't so cold that they needed jackets, so they're in just sweaters and scarves and stuff, and I just kind of wanted to do like a really cute little wintry photo shoot, and it went about as well as can be expected when you're a parent doing a photo shoot with kids that aren't obviously like professional models or anything like that. So, you know, there was crankiness and stuff like that. I didn't want to necessarily do it. Like, you can tell in my son's face, he's happy. He doesn't mind doing this kind of stuff, but her face looks so. This was like the best of the 2 of them together that I could get. I do have some pictures of the 2 of them separately that I want to have their own pages for, but for the 2 of them together, this was the best I could get, and she still looks like she looks like he like just said something horrible to her and then was like, okay, now smile. And she's just looking like, oh my God, what did he just tell me? Like, her face is just, hilarious to me, but nothing I can really do about that. It's the best I could get. So I'm just kind of arranging where I want these circles to kind of go. And you can tell by the way that the lighting is flickering in my video that I filmed this at night. I really try now not to film at night. I just find the lighting better in the daytime, but I'm not always so lucky. Right now in the summer, while the kids are all home, I sure get guilted a lot if I try to do anything for myself. So yeah, I end up spending a lot of time with them, and I mean I do love spending time with them, but I'm also trying to get things done, and they don't really understand because how can crafting be work? And I said in a way it is. Like I am constantly, you know, putting out um, content for people for entertainment purposes, and that is a hobby, but also, you know, I have to keep schedules and deadlines and things like that. So it's a little hard for them to quite grasp that, but oh well. They're understanding. Sometimes I'm just like, okay, just get outside then. Like I don't understand why you're in the house wanting me to watch movies in the middle of a bright sunny day. So I don't want to do a whole lot of background or of layering with the photo, and that's because there's already so many patterns going on with the little circles, but also because the background paper that I used, which is a Pink Fresh Studio paper, um, it's almost a scene. Well, it is a scene essentially in a way. So I don't also want to go crazy with the paper in that respect. So I'm going to back it with a solid, the wood solid, and that's kind of helping to bring in some of that yellow that is going on in some of the 6x6 papers that I used to, what are they called? That I punched out. I couldn't remember the word. That's so sad. But I really love that black and white one that says cold and burr. I thought that really worked well as a second layer. So that's all I'm going to do for the layering. And then I glued everything down. I did pop the paper, the picture up on Fun Foam. And I do apologize if my voice sounds a little weird. My nose is really stuffed up. I've been having some allergies, and I don't want to sniff, but I don't want to pause my recording either. So I am literally sitting here trying mentally to not just sniff. So it's getting kind of weird. I am going to skip over a lot of, I went through a lot of my ephemera. All my Snow and Cocoa was together in one pack, and this is a whole bunch of other Christmas stuff, but I know the Pink Fresh Studio stuff was in this big collection of various Christmas items, so that's why I'm going through it, just to get the Pink Fresh Studio stuff. So I am going to use a little bit of it, and I have the puffy stickers, and then I have the ephemera from Snow and Cocoa, and I have the chipboard. And I was working with all of this and flipping it all around, and then I was like, oh yeah, I also have the chipboard, and I haven't even brought that out yet. What is going on? And I love that little tag that said, if snowflakes were kisses, I'd send you a blizzard or something. I just thought that was so cute, and this would be like that perfect picture to put it on. I love that fox, but he didn't really make sense in the context of what is going on because the bottom of the paper has a scene, so to me it just did not make sense in the end to leave him in there. So he keeps getting shuffled around, but he is going to eventually leave the layout, and he's going to go chill on the side, go back into my ephemera case, and he's going to make it to another layout instead. I do love those snowflakes, so I do bring those in. I liked the idea of adding the little pieces of the puffy stickers to the overall scene going on in the bottom. And here's where I decided to bring in some more, and so now I can bring in that cute little jar, which is just, it's so adorable. I was really happy to put it in there. I kind of, I guess, have been hoarding it in a way. And it is off-white, so like here's kind of the trick I'm going with is if you're ever, I've mentioned this in a different blog post for paper issues, but the whole idea was if you're going to mix your off-whites with your whites, so stark white and then like that cream kind of vintage white, and you're finding it looks odd or it looks weird. I read somewhere from another scrapbooker a while ago on like a blog post or something was to add more white. And I thought that was a really good little piece of advice, and I find it really works well. So when I'm doing this, if I'm finding that it's looking off a little, if I just add a bit more of the stark white to what's going on, then it actually does just immediately help. So right now I feel like I've got a good balance going on, so I'm not too worried about it. I love that little tag that says boots and mittens and coat and scarf because they've kind of got a bunch of that stuff on. Because there's that white space in the photo, I could put some little pieces in. I love adding the snowflakes around in the chipboard, getting some more of the glitter in. I wasn't sure what I wanted to do with that chipboard piece, and I do end up moving it. It doesn't end up staying there. Because I have two pieces of two puffy stickers on the bottom, I feel like I need that triangle going on with another puffy sticker. So that's why I put the dove there, and I believe I keep him, he just moves position. Yeah, he's up there now, and I can't remember if he stays up there or if he moves again. So here's where I'm realizing I didn't think through what my title was going to be, and I'm not really sure what I want to write or where I want to write it or anything like that. But I loved that it said smitten. But of course there was nothing else that I could use with it. Like I couldn't put smitten with you or anything like that. But then I realized I have this love, and this one's from like Dear Lizzie, but I've gotten so down to the point where all my black foam, for the most part, is all together. So my Dear Lizzie and the Amy Tangerine ones and all those except for the new ones are all just kind of on the same thing. So I love the love, and I kind of could have left it there and it would have worked with the rest of it, but I decided to cut the S off of the smitten and put it on the end, and so the title is Love and Mittens in the end. I just thought it was cute. It doesn't really have any context in the for the photo, but it was just a cute way to use up some of my foam and get some like contrasting black in with the rest of the layout. So anyway, I'm really happy with how it looked in the end. I thought it looked cute. I mean, it's not perfect if you go up close, but if you're not up close, then you don't really notice. I'm going to finish it off with gold Heidi Swap Color Shine, and that's going to be it for the layout. And yeah, I really love how it turned out. So pictures coming up, and I'll see you guys in my next Christmassy video. Bye!